There's a pond in West Central Florida with a wooden boardwalk and a box for dive logs. From the edge, it looks like nothing. Green, still water, bugs on the surface, brush all the way around it. 6 meters down, just inside the entrance, there's a black and white sign. To read it, you already have to be underwater. It says, "Stop! Prevent your death." It says there's nothing in this cave worth dying for. Next to the words, there's a drawing of the Grim Reaper and a number. More than 300 divers have died in caves like this one. Some of them were open water instructors. In October 2016, 2 men swam past that sign. Both could read it. Both were experienced. Both had been inside this cave before. Only one of the 3 who went in that day came back up. To understand how that happens, you have to look at what the pond is hiding. From the surface, there's nothing to see. No current, no boil, no spring pushing water up from below. Just a flat green disk in the middle of the Chassahowitzka swamp, an hour north of Tampa, ringed by pine and scrub. A boardwalk, a dive log box on a post. Locals drive past it without a second look. Some of them fish near it. Then you go under, through the entrance, and the floor drops away into a vertical shaft the divers call the chimney. Narrow, just wide enough. You sink through it in the dark, and then the walls disappear. Past the chimney, the cave opens up. Not into a tunnel, into rooms. Rooms the size of cathedrals, with names that sound like a hotel and mean the opposite of safety. The ballroom, the super room, the pit. The system has been mapped to 310 feet straight down, and its passages run close to a mile through the soft limestone under the state. A pond you could throw a stone across, sitting on top of a mile of black corridors. The vice chairman of the cave diving section of the National Speleological Society described it to a reporter, and his comparison is better than anything I'd invent. It's like a Venus flytrap. You get in there, and there's so much to see you get distracted, and it gets deep quickly. That's the trap. Not a wall you hit, an opening that keeps opening, pulling your attention outward and your body downward at the same time, while the one door you came in through gets smaller and farther behind you. Deep and wide and dark, and held together by one thin thing you can't see in the pictures. A line, a guideline, run from open water into the cave unbroken, so that whatever happens, you can put a hand on it and follow it out. It is the single rule that everything else depends on. And in Eagle's Nest, the floor and the walls and the ceiling are coated in fine silt, sediment that has been settling in still water for a very long time. It does not take much to disturb it. One kick angled wrong, one fin brushing the bottom, one exhale hitting a low ceiling and rolling the silt down off the rock. And then the water turns to milk. Not a fade, not a dimming you can adjust to. Your light goes from showing you a cathedral to showing you the inside of a glass of milk in about a second. Both of you, if there are 2 of you, gone from each other. The exit, the rooms, the walls, all of it erased. What's left is your fingers in the line. Divers have a name for what you do now. They call it reading Braille. You hold the guideline and you feel your way along it, hand over hand, in zero visibility, trusting that it runs where it ran when you could still see it. Some of them practice it blindfolded on purpose, because the day it happens for real, your eyes are worth nothing. One of the best cave divers alive was asked, what actually kills people in these systems? Her list is short and flat. Failing to run a continuous line, failing to keep enough gas in reserve, equipment failure, a medical problem at depth, losing visibility from stirring up the silt, and going past your own training and experience. Every item on that list is survivable alone. The cave specialty is handing you 2 or 3 at once. You still have your light down here. It just stops showing you anything. And the deeper you go, the less your mind is worth, even with the line in your hand. Everything you've heard about narcosis is waiting in this cave. Past 100 feet, the nitrogen starts dissolving into your nerves, slowing your thoughts, softening your judgment, handing you that warm certainty that you're doing fine. In open water, that's dangerous. Here it lands on a diver who is already navigating a maze, in the dark, with a rock ceiling overhead and a silt out one bad kick away. The drug takes your judgment first, and judgment is the only tool that gets you out of a cave. There's no up here. In the ocean, a narked diver who feels himself slipping can rise. and every meter up thins the nitrogen and hands a little of his mind back. In Eagle's Nest, up is limestone. The way out isn't a direction you can feel. It's a specific line to a specific hole, remembered and followed. By the exact part of your brain, the depth is switching off. So you're solving the hardest navigation problem of your life with the least capable version of your mind. And the cave keeps opening in front of you, room after room, each one a reason to go a little farther and a little deeper. Patrick Peacock and Chris Rittenmeyer were found at 260 feet, near each other, in a part of the system the sheriff's office called very dangerous and complex. 260 feet is not the bottom. The cave goes another 50 deeper than where they stopped. They didn't die at the edge of the map. They died somewhere in the middle of it, with room left to fall. They died in the middle of the map, and to understand why that's the horror of this place, you have to look at the one thing your body will always try to do underwater. Go up. It's not a decision. It's wiring. Something goes wrong in open water. Your air, your gear, your head, and your body wants the surface. That instinct is the most reliable survival reflex you own. It has saved more divers than any piece of equipment ever made. In the narcosis story, rising a few meters hands your mind back. In a shallow water blackout, the surface was the rescue that came too late. Everywhere on this planet, up is where life is. In this cave, up is rock. Solid limestone, hundreds of feet of it, in every direction over your head. You are inside the stone, not under open water. The surface isn't above you. It's behind you, through a mile of corridor, down to a single hole in the ceiling of a room the size of a cathedral. One exit. And once you've swum in past it, it is at your back, in the dark, in water that may already have gone to milk. So play out what your own body does when it panics down there. The fear hits, the reflex fires, up, and every instinct you have drives you toward the ceiling, hard, pressing you against solid rock, away from the one small opening that was the only way out. The thing that would launch you to safety in the ocean pins you to the roof of a tomb. The cave doesn't have to trick your mind. It just waits for your body to do what bodies do and turns it into the fatal move. This is the part that stays with me. It doesn't kill you with depth. It kills you by taking the one response evolution built into you as a guarantee, the reach for the surface, and pointing it at stone. And what actually happened to Peacock and Rittenmeyer in those final minutes, we don't get to know. Autopsies were ordered. Their gear was pulled out and sent off for analysis. Two experienced men familiar with this cave died within reach of each other at 260 feet. The cause was never made public. The record just stops. The record stops, and the water closes back into a flat green disc, and the next carload of divers pulls up to the boardwalk. At least 10 people have died in Eagle's Nest since 1981, enough that the state barred the entrance in 1999 and sealed it off. It stayed closed for 4 years. Then it reopened in 2003, and the pressure to reopen it didn't come from thrill seekers or tourists. It came from the diving community. The cave divers wanted their cave back. 3 years before Peacock and Rittenmeyer, on Christmas Day 2013, a man named Darren Spivey went into this water with his 15-year-old son, Dylan Sanchez. They were trying out dive gear. Spivey was a certified diver, but not a cave diver. His son wasn't certified at all. Neither of them came back. After they died, the family asked the state to close Eagle's Nest. The state said it had no plans to do so. 3 years later, 2 more bodies at 260 feet. Today there's a system. You register online for free before every single dive. You show your cave certification. Dive without the paperwork, and you can be fined. There's a wooden boardwalk down to the water and a log box on a post where you write your name before you go in. Think about what that box is. A place to record who went under, at a spot where the sign at the entrance already tells you 300 people didn't come back up. You sign in on the way down. The cave keeps the only accurate count on the way out. From the road, it's still just a pond. Still green, still ringed with brush and bugs. People drive past it. Some of them fish near it, a few feet of murky water over a mile of black rooms, and never know the difference. The most dangerous thing about Eagle's Nest is that it looks like nothing at all. Beneath doesn't stop at the surface. Subscribe and we'll show you the next quiet place that keeps account.